everybody, it's Elizabeth and Savannah, and we are going to make some pizza for dinner. So we thought we would invite you guys along to come make some pizza with us. So we are going to first wash our hands, and we're gonna boil some water for the dough. Okay, so we're gonna wash our hands. All right, and then I'm gonna get a pot. It says that you're supposed to use hot water, so we like to use boiling hot water. It helps the dough to rise a little bit. So I'm gonna get that started. Baby girl, why don't you see what we turn the oven on to?
Let's see. We turn the oven on to 450.
To 450, okay. 450. Now, how much water does it say we need?
1.5 cups of hot water.
Per thing?
No, it just says 1.5.
Right, per container, that's fine. Okay, so now we've already gotten all of our ingredients. We have out the sauce, the pepperoni, the cheese. We like well, some of us like mushrooms, some of us don't. And then we normally use, for the 5 of us, we normally use 4 packets of the pizza crusts. They don't go very far, and we like the thicker crust, so we normally try to use about 4 of them. And then we have our cooking spray, and then we use the glass dishes. Some people use like the cookie sheets and stuff like that. I found that it makes the crust burn a little bit, and we like it more of like the thick doughy, not doughy, but you know, like the thicker rise crust. So we normally will do it either in the pans, or sometimes if I'm feeling, you know, real kicky, we'll do it in the cast iron pans. But today we're just gonna do it in the glass baking dishes. So what we're gonna do is, Beanie, why don't you start opening up all 4 of these. Do I have scissors? Let me grab you some scissors. Here you go, here. And we'll start pouring the dough, the flour, into the bowl.
Nothing next.
Pizza crust. It's okay, just dump it in. It'll be all right. Had a little bit of a spill. All right, now do the next one. It'll be okay. There you go. Now we're gonna need a spoon. Okay, so you should make a hole in the middle of it, so when we pour the water in, it kind of goes into the middle. Let me get rid of these.
Like that?
Like push it up to the side so it's like a big hole in the middle. That way you're pouring the water into the middle. Yeah. There you go. So now we need some measuring cups. Let me see if we have our measuring cups. Oh, we didn't get measuring cups. Okay. So, I think it might be in the dishwasher. So let's wash it. Yep, it's in the dishwasher. So let's wash it real quick. Alright. Okay, well, I'm not really worried about drying it because we're just going to stick water in it anyway. So slide over here. I'm going to pour the water into the measuring cup because it is going to be boiling hot water, or very close to boiling hot water. So why don't you back up just a hair just so I can pour this in. And you said it takes 1.5 cups per...
A half of a cup.
Half of a cup. Right? Okay, so I'm going to put 2 cups in then. Half of a cup seems right.
That's
okay.
That's it.
So we'll set that off to the side. There's your 2 cups because we put 4 bags in. Okay. Now we're going to stir this around to make it a great big ball of dough. Here you go. This is going to be hot because I used the boiling hot water, so she's not going to be able to put her hands into it. I don't have a problem with hot stuff, so I'll be able to do it. But But just remember that if you use the boiling hot water, it does make for the crust to rise better than just using regular tap hot water. But it also makes the dough really hot, obviously, because you're using boiling hot water instead of just hot water. All right. Now to finish this, I'm going to do it by hand. I'm going to knead it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some cooking spray, and I don't want it to stick to my hands, so I'm going to spray my hands. So now my hands won't be sticky when I take this dough out and knead it. All right. It'll still stick a little bit to your hands, but it definitely won't be as bad as if you hadn't done it at all. All right, now my counters were previously clean, so I'm not worried about the counters. We had cleaned them right before we started. All right. There we go. All right, now we're just kneading the dough a little bit. And now it's starting to get real sticky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray the dough with a non-stick cooking spray. And I'm going to roll it and spray it. All right, then I'm going to turn it into a ball. Set it like that. Little pieces in there. And then what I'm going to do is, because our oven is on and preheating, in the back, normally it's the back right corner. This is also like a vent for your oven, and it gets warm back here. Not hot, but it's warm back there from the heat from the oven. So I normally let it sit back there for just a few minutes to let the dough kind of rise a little bit while I get the pans ready and wash my hands, get the pans ready. And if you like onion or peppers or anything on there, you can start getting those ready. So Savannah, I'm going to have you spray the pans while I wash my hands. All right. Goes much faster when you have teamwork. Okay.
Was that too much?
Well, it really should back it up a little bit. So she has it clogged like that. What that's from is it's having the spray too close. You want to have the spray back so you get a nice even coating. You want it a good couple inches, good couple inches away, to where when you spray it in there, it goes everywhere and it's not condensed into there. Have you ever gone to the beach and seen one of those people who have those line sunburns all over themselves from the spray tan? It's because they held it too close. It can't get everywhere.
Can you hold
Same
it?
thing. Honey, you could just put it down on the ground or on the counter and do it. You're still too close. You see that? Look, far away, and then it just. Now you're gonna have to wipe your counters afterwards because it does get a little bit everywhere. But there we go. Now we have our pans prepped. Our counters are wiped off. Now this would be the time that if you wanted, like I said, any onion or green pepper or anything like that, now would be the time to go ahead and start cutting that stuff up. But because we don't want any of that, we're going to go ahead and start working our dough. Now, because I have different size pans, I'm going to use different size dough. So for the first pan, I have a pretty big pan, so I'm going to use half of the dough in the big pan. So Savannah, if you want to start pressing that, and then I'm going to cut the other ones in half and use them half and half of each of these. So just start working it. Oh, here, let me spray your hands too. Again, hold it over here. You're gonna want to spray your hands because it's still pretty sticky. And this will just help it to keep from sticking onto your hands, and you'll be able to push it out into the pan pretty easy. All right, there we go. Now you want it to have a little bit of a run up onto the edge so you have a little bit of a crust. All right, there we go. Like I said, we just like our dough a little bit thicker. Now if you're a thin crust person, you might not need to use many packets of the dough as we do. But now we like it nice and thick, so we need a few packets of dough. Now I'm going to grab a fork and we're gonna poke some holes into it.
Ooh.
Okay, so the reason you're gonna poke some holes into it is so that the steam can vent through the dough and you won't get it bubbling up. You don't want the dough to bubble. So as you can see, it's all the way around the edges. We've poked holes in it. You don't need tons of holes, but I think you can see better in this one. We definitely like a thick crust. So this was 4 packets, made the large container, the medium container, and then a small container of dough. Now you're gonna wanna bake your dough for like 10 to 15 minutes. Or until it gets to like a nice light golden brown, so that whenever you put your toppings on, you're not burning your cheese before your dough is done. So, you hear him in the background, feed him, baby. So, we're gonna wash up, or at least rinse off some of these dishes real quick while we're waiting, and let's wash our hands because we still have the grease on there. There you go. Okay. And now we like to do, I'm all about lower fat stuff. Anywhere that you can cut even a little bit out, I try to cut a little bit out because every little bit helps. I mean, you may not be able to cut it out of the cheese or anything like that, but we like to cut it where we can cut it. So I use the 70% reduced fat pepperoni. I try not to use any other of the fatty meats. We try to put, you know, a lot of vegetables most of the time, but Russell and the kids, you know, kind of veto the vegetables, but I do like to do the low-fat pepperoni. And then it's not so terrible for you. You know, I mean, the dough doesn't have a lot of fat in it. The cooking spray is fat-free, and then when you do the reduced fat pepperoni, and then, you know, you're just gonna have to do what you can do with the cheese. The cheese just is what it is. But I try to put it on in moderation, and it kind of makes it a little bit of a healthier pizza. But, you know, you don't have to do the reduced fat one, but that's just what we do. Just like I said, I mean, just anywhere we can cut just a little bit where it doesn't make a huge difference. But, you know, it does help is how we try to cut it. Okay, so our pizza's the crust are out of the oven, and let me show you guys. So they are nice and golden brown. As you can see, they have a nice little golden brown bit around the edge. Now, my kids love to do their own pizzas. They're always like, I want to decorate my own pizza. So I let them do their own. So you guys want to grab your spoons? Here's a spoon for you, a spoon for you. And you pour some sauce on there. And there we go. And then we'll put some sauce on that one.
Can I do mine?
Well, I mean, you can have some of them, whichever one. Now, I normally get the big jar of sauce, which is plenty. Go ahead, swirl it around. Just plenty big enough for the three big size pizzas. Yeah, you have to watch the container, baby. Remember?
Yeah. Figured that out.
Yeah, I keep telling you. The thing is hot. And then once they're done with the sauce, I let them do their own cheese.
Does that look good?
It looks very good, Daddy. Now maybe get some up over here. We like it lots of sauce on there too. Okay. No, ma'am. Now look, now you're making a mess.
I think I'm hurting myself.
No.
I hurt myself.
All right. Now we need some cheese.
There we go.
Great. And you have the spoon? We'll set that over here. Okay. Don't touch your clothes, baby. We're working with food. Okay. So we're just gonna sprinkle some cheese on there. No. I'm just swirling it around. Now I normally will use a pizza blend for the cheese, and I also use an Italian style cheese because my kids just love the cheese, so I use both, and they like the mozzarella and the those type of cheeses in the Italian style, but then they also like all the cheeses in the regular pizza one. So we try to do both cheeses, which I know makes it unhealthy, but also makes it delicious. Okay, so now it's time to pepperoni. Who wants the pepperoni?
Me.
Alrighty. Okay, here you go, Colton.
Oh,
Whoa, big stack of pepperoni. All right, Savannah, your big stack of pepperoni. Okay, and then my big stack of pepperoni.
Wow.
And then we just try to lay them across the pizzas. You know, try not to do them on top of each other, but maybe in like nice rows or, you know, willy-nilly, however they want to do it.
Willy-nilly. I'm doing it in nice rows.
Yep, however, it's the nice thing about pizza is you can decorate it however you want to. All right. Okay. There we go. No, you didn't just put more on there. Put them all on there. That'll be okay. Okay. Now, of course, I said that they didn't want any onion or anything on it, and while the dough was cooking, they said, but Mom, we do want onion, so we did wind up cutting. No, don't put it on the pizza now. Okay, don't put it on the pizza, that's fine, put it on here. So we did wind up cutting an onion.
Mom.
So we are going to sprinkle a little bit of onion onto the pizzas. Oh, why don't you do it? You do it on yours, and then you pass it to Colton and let him do it on his. He's sprinkling pepperoni now. He says, I get tired of doing this row stuff. And now, some of us like mushroom and some of us don't. So we'll put mushroom on one of the pizzas. And they always come pretty big, so I like to cut them up a little bit before I put them on there. Right, Vanny? Because
Yes,
she is not a mushroom lover. But I think the rest of us are, right?
Daddy is and Austin is. No.
I don't know about Austin.
Yeah, Austin loves it.
Yeah? Okay.
There we go. I wasted the whole jar.
Good. Why don't you set it down into the sink for me, or on the counter's fine. Okay. And then why don't we put mushrooms on half of your pizza?
Okay.
Okay? That way, in case Austin doesn't want it,
Me or
there's another half on his, on the big one.
We're going to put it on. Mine looks so good.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Delicious mushroom.
Here we go. And so now what we're going to do is we're just going to stick these back into the oven, and because the dough is cooked, all we're looking for is the cheese to be melted and the toppings to be as cooked as you want them to be. Watch out, buddy. I want you back up for Mom.
Burn.
I don't want you to get burned.
Don't hurt very badly.
So depending on how you like your cheese, this could take anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes, but normally it's not very long, and they don't like the cheese real done. They just want it melted on top. So we normally leave the crust in a little bit longer because they really, if the cheese gets any bit brown, they don't like it. So they like it where, you know, just the dough cooked and then just a flash for the cheese and stuff like that to melt. Okay, well, I think that our pizzas are done. What do you guys think? It's smelling pretty good in here, isn't it?
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and pull them out and we'll see how they look. Oh yeah, they're definitely done.
Oh, those look so good.
Oh, don't they? Oh, look at that. Let's leave this one in a little bit longer.
Look at all that smoke.
Okay, so this is about how the kids like it. It's done, but it's not real done. It's not real dark. You could leave it in a bit longer. This could stay in for probably even another 5 minutes. The kids just don't like their cheese real done. But now we're gonna cut it up and enjoy some dinner. So I hope you guys have fun making your own pizzas like we do. So if you liked our pizza making, they need to do what?
They have to hit the subscribe button
That's
and like our
right.
channel.
So we'll see you next time.